Strange title, I know, but it's totally true. Lots of businesses fail. They might not want to admit it, but a lot of the time they have that slow death of 1,000 cuts, and yet success leaves clues. So how can you fail if the success is there in front of you? Well, it's a very, very simple one, but it's one that so many people get wrong. So let's dive in right now and make sure that you get all that success without having to go through the turmoil. Okay, team, let's dive straight into this today. The fact of the matter is Jim Rohn, one of the great men of all time, taught the world so many things, but one of the really key avenues, there's just 3 words that I really remember him saying all the time, and that was success leaves clues. And so we know that to be true, right? If you went and studied 100 billionaires and looked at what it was in their successes, there would be clues there. There's quite often patterns. There's quite often certain, mantras or certain things, right, that they live by, they do every day. Maybe there's a particular habit that certain people do all the time. Regardless of whether there's a pattern or it works for everyone or not, the fact of the matter always remains true is that any success leaves clues. And so the real trick here is not trying to go and study the best people, and get 100 billionaires and away we go from that and try and find patterns. But it's maybe just taking that one person or the 2 or 3 people around you that maybe you look up to, or maybe they have something that's better than what you do, bigger than what you do. Maybe it's more set up and structured as you would like your own business or team to be structured. Maybe it's actually providing results that you currently can't do, right? It's not about egos, prides, who's better, who's not. It's not about that. But the fact of the matter is that if you look carefully, you will see the clues that are left from that business or that person's success. And so when we look at our own industry, we look at how many businesses have been struggling through a COVID. Like, it's been a good, 18 months, pushing in towards 2 years of COVID, right? So you look at so many businesses that have been struggling. Now, I know it's easy for us to throw our hands up in the air and say, oh, well, it's this, and we weren't open, and we hadn't this, and we had that, and there's all those reasons, right? Fancy name for excuses. Now, I'm not downplaying it either, because it has been torrid. I mean, hell, it's been physically torrid, it's been emotionally torrid, there's been so much complexity, right? But why is it that so many people have been able to thrive? So many of our own clients and so many of my colleagues and friends and even ourselves have been able to actually accelerate and actually achieve greater success during these tough, challenging times. It's not because someone's better or someone's, it's this and that, because the fact of the matter is that there is a success area there. Now, whether the person's good, bad, tall, short, black, white, ugly, male, female, it doesn't matter about any of those. The fact is successes have been had, but our job as business owners is to be better personally and professionally, to be more, to create more, to do more, to empower people, to inspire people, to be able to help people, right? And so for us to achieve more success, we need to be able to look at those that have got success or had success and look for the clues that enabled that success to occur in the first place. And so that might sound pretty obvious, but yet it's something that very few people actually do. So when was the last time, for instance, you actually sat down with 2 or 3 of your peers and you actually looked at, say, 10 other businesses that have had great success in the industry in the last, say, 12 months, and looked at what is it that they specifically did, said, created, etc., to drive that success? Because if we become more analytical of seeing what other people's successes look like and looking for the clues as to why they were successful in that area, then it's much easier for us to be able to capitalize on those successes from someone else and use them to our advantage. I'm not saying we should find out what someone did well and copy it, but absolutely, if someone has had huge success and they've unlocked some type of specific paradigm, avenue, project, way of doing things, saying things, whatever it happened to be that drove that success, and you're wanting that success too, is a reason why you wouldn't adapt that, utilize that. Maybe you can take what they've got and actually make it better. It's the same as the whole thing with the Wright brothers and man-made flight. And Simon Sinek talks about this, 15 years ago, the whole starts with why thing. Charles Pierpont Langley was the guy that was set up by the American government to, pay England, I think it was actually, to pay millions of dollars and given everything they possibly need to be able to make man-powered flight a reality, everything they could possibly want. Unlimited resources, people, money, etc. Yet it was the Wright brothers with the desire and the vision and that went ahead and did it. And so when you stop and look at those type scenarios, as Simon Sinek says, rather than the Wright brothers doing it and Pierpont Langley saying, that's amazing, how can I now make it better? He gave up because he wasn't first at doing it. So think about that. If we've got people that have got successes, this is not about copying someone, but it's taking that mentality of what have they been able to do that drove that success, and how can I utilize that, work with it, make it better, help more people? How can we improve what they've done for ourselves and other people? And here's the other part. When you flip the coin over in the opposite side, the fact is that a lot of the time, people achieve success in business and then they take the foot off the pedal. They relax, they sit back a little bit, they've made it. I literally was chatting to a female colleague of mine earlier today, haven't spoken with her for probably at least 14 months, and she was a client of mine ages ago, and she went from her and one other person to like 8 team members, 9 team members. And she was telling me today, and that's when she sort of stepped away from working with us. And she was saying today, I made it, Jace. I've had a more than $1 million revenue in the business. I had that $1 million health business type mentality. I started spending a lot more time with my family. I stepped back from 2 or 3 days a week consulting, and it's all sort of started to dwindle away, and things have started to crumble. And I'm not going to get into the full guts of it because there's a lot of things happening there. But we're down to 3. They're now down to 3 team members, and the thing was, help. How do we make this happen again? And ultimately, in that situation, it's a very simple solution that the success that she had left clues. And it was clues in and around for her accountability, having coaches and mentors in place, working with a core group of, in her situation, there was about 8 others on a fortnightly basis that enabled us to make sure that we were always cheering people on, helping people on, getting the answers to questions, being accountable for delivering. We were able to shoot the breeze about what would happen if we did this. How does this? What have you done? How did you get this? And so by putting all those masterminds and round tables in place, she was able to learn at a faster rate. She was able to learn from other people's successes and mistakes and ultimately have more success herself. She had accountability in place. We had a great team and a culture, but then all of a sudden she switched back and stepped back. Didn't have the coaching, didn't have the people to help her, didn't have the accountability, didn't have the foot on the accelerator when she needed to, started taking a lot of time away, not working with the team and the culture, and everything's fallen apart. Again, success leaves clues. So in this situation, what is the clues in that scenario? Well, we've just identified 4 or 5 of the key factors of her successes came about because of 4 or 5 key things that she was doing, and she stopped. Now, that's not a criticism because a lot of us do that. I mean, heck, I've done that before as well. Done that twice with one of my own private companies. And the biggest learning is if I had all of that success and then I stopped doing the things that made it successful, then how can I expect it to continue to be successful? And so it's a really good paradigm that we have to stop and think about all the time. We have to be accountable for the fact that if we have already achieved success, then we can't be ignorant to the fact that that success came about because of several key factors. So if we stop those key factors, then we can't be blasé enough or ignorant enough to think that everything's just going to continue on. If you know that as an athlete was doing a particular training regime that drove really amazing results, and then they stop that, they can't expect to get that same success. So I guess here's the thing. We know success leaves clues. So if you are already successful and you've got a huge amount of success and you're really happy with where you're at, that's fantastic. I'm really happy for you. But it comes with a warning and a caveat that look at what has made you so successful. Look at what has made the successes possible and make sure you don't stop them and in many respects, double down on them. Because if that's driven the success in the first place and you double down your time, money, effort, whatever it happens to be on those pursuits or those areas, then you're going to have more success at a higher level. It will scale quicker. If you're someone who's at the other end of the scale and has come off the boil or aren't even maybe really starting your journey to a success that you're happy with at this point in time, that's okay. Look to those that have been there, that done that, that are doing that. And what are the secrets of what they're doing? What with their successes could you be working with, building on, implementing that will drive your success a lot quicker? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, all of us can be successful and for all different reasons and different levels. And that's completely fine. But success always leaves clues. So whether you're chasing what success is for you, you need to look at the others around you. You need to look at who else has been there and done that. Look at where their successes came from, why, and adapt it and improve it for yourself. And if you're someone who already has that success, don't get complacent. Don't stop doing the successful things because it's only going to go one way if you do. Success leaves clues. Let's go and make sure we know what the success levels are. We know what the clues are. We double down on them and we have even more success of time, money, freedom, and impact for our team and our businesses and ourselves moving forward from here. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.